We're diving in to the new Duelist Nexus set and seeing how early pre-sales are holding up. You guys smash the and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us content. We're going to be on Gamer's Choice here, seeing how everything is kind of coming together. And use discount code MCO40 and save on your purchase. Now, a lot of things are kind of moved at this point in time, but this will give you a little bit of an idea of where to pay attention for these. Some edition of Bonds and Unity sold out at $250. Revolution's still up at $230. I mean, to be honest with you, this is probably the most, one of the best cards in the set. Espurely Nor at $150, which is interesting. Crimson Dragon sold out at $150. Vice is sold out at $120. The Unchained Soul Lord of Yama at $100. Sleipnir still in stock at $100. Very curious to see how that's going to go. Noble Arms Museum at $100. Almace also at $100. Charles at $90. Hida at $80. This is interesting because the other Charmer is also is what, like $60 max. So that's interesting. Dark Corridor at $80. The Snake at $70. Lars at $70. Divine Domain at $70. $70. And then we still pretty much control $70. This sold out at $70 for Arahima. Angelica at $70. And then the Swords sold out at $50, which was interesting. And then Fusion Armament at $50. And then we bump on over here to the last page with the Altergeist Adminia sold out. So that's your highest rarity stuff. Now, we do have some deck cores that were up at the moment. The Synchro core coming in at $220. You can thank your 3 copies of this. The Infernoble core at $90. Tristina at $75. Only because, I mean, you're playing with 2 secret rares in here. Vice is at $60. $35 for Illusion. Unchained was $20. Altergeist coming in at $15, and then a nice $3 for the Rescue Ace core. So if the cores are something that you want to make sure that you have, they have plenty of them available here. Once again, discount code MCO40 save. All right, so our secret rares. Revolution Synchron is $65. Does this remind anybody of the fact that when we looked through previous sets here and the way that things were going, that there's one top-end secret rare in the set that is like the best card, and then everything else just kind of falls in place? Because that's very much what this feels like. So your top-end secret, Vice's Amritara at $20, Dark Corridor at $20, Crimson Dragon coming in at $20, and then we bump on down here. Sleipnir, a whole $15. The Sinful Souls at $15. Lars here coming in at the $13 mark. The draw card actually sold out at $10. I'm actually very intrigued to see how this is going to kind of hold up over time, because this is one of those interesting cards that seems like it could be good, because anytime draw power seems to tend to come into the game here, especially, you know, on a secret rare. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players will be like, oh my gosh, you know, like we need this. Maybe. And then the Crystal God at $10 and the Nightmare Magician at $5. It's a real shame that, like, the Nightmare Magician, this guy, is by far the worst secret rare in the set by, I think, a mile. But that's, I honestly think, what we're kind of expecting. So yeah, secret rare value, absolutely cheap. Now, your ultra rares here, Nor at $20. Let's call it what it is. This is by far probably the most expensive Ultra in the set. I honestly expected there to be a little bit more, at least in terms of value, but interesting to say the least. And then, of course, Charles at $13, Unchained Lord Yama at $10 for the Museum. Most of these 10, 5 on the Domain, 5 on the Armament. Angelica coming in at $5, Adminia at $5. Yeah, we start to dip down here. The Cosmic Blazar Dragon at $3, and then the Chimera also the $3 mark. So, okay, everything looks pretty much where I kind of expected them to be. So, that's where we're sitting right now in terms of value on your very early pre-sales from Gamer's Choice. Once again, discount code MCO40 will save you more money. If there's something over here you're like, well, you know, that's not what I want to pay at the moment, well, that's fine. All right, you can be patient, you can wait. The biggest thing with pre-sales is it gives people the opportunity to get their foot in the door early for those that want to make sure that they're guaranteed to get what they want. All right, and then it is very interesting. Ah, boy, Rescue Ace cards. How many times are we going to see this? Now, the good news today on the Rescue Ace cards was we got the common printings of Preventer, and we got the common printings for Emergency, which means that now we're seeing a little bit of a spinsy aroundsy here for value. So Hydrant coming in at $84. There's a French version here for $81. Turbulence is still at 77s. No real movements on these. They're still kind of floating. Hydrants coming in at, well, 30-ish plus dollars still. 30, 32, 34. These escalate up still pretty much. But the good thing is, they've repopulated a little bit. There's now 25 listings of these on the market. So, minus this one. That's a lot better than the 9 that we saw the other day. Turbulence is coming in about the $8 mark. Impulse at 30 cents. The rest of the Rescue Ace stuff, incredibly cheap. But for the people that are, still wanting to keep an eye on this, with all real things considered, I think that this is still pretty good. I think we might start to see Rescue Ace kind of start to spin down now. But the thing is, considering you don't have to spend real money on, additional cards out of the new set, I think that's good. Ah, boy, Thrust. So with the fabled reprint of this on the horizon here, this card has did a pretty big dipsy here. I mean, these were 85 down to 85 on the high end of things, 66, 66, 66, and then we spin on down here relatively quickly. All of your last couple of sales here the last few days have all been $65 to $70. As of filming this morning, $68 to $70, pretty much across the board. Actually, we're pretty much maintaining, which I don't think is a horrible thing, but it is very interesting just to kind of see how things are once again holding up here. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what the value of the new one's going to go for on the secondary. The extra hero stuff. Been following this for a little while. You can get Italian copies here at $6. Otherwise, these are still $9 to $10 across the board. And once again, you can think all the hero stuff out here. I find it very interesting that, we've had time for this to kind of feel like it should circulate down and calm down, but for the most part, it has not. So, very, very interesting. And then, of course, the Elemental Hero Shining Neos Wingman. We're actually spinning down right now. This is actually good news. $5, $5, $5, $3.69, $3.75. Basically $4 to $5 still per copy. I figured we would see a little bit quicker of a decline on this, but this surprises me. We've done decently well here with maintaining the price point, so not all that surprising. Giant Trainers. Now, for those of you that haven't been paying much attention to this, we've seen a little bit of interesting shifts with this. You can still get your Number Hunters versions. I see some Italian Seekers there at 14s. You can get the ones for the super rares here from Advent Calendar at $8.75, and then you have the commons out of ye old OTS pack here for $8.75, and they're still pretty much doing their thing. So, found that very interesting. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is something kind of close to my personal heart here. This is the Lucimon from the original Digimon game. Now, for those of you that don't know, this card was extremely valuable. Actually, back in 2012, the last time that I remember seeing this card on the market, it was sitting at a pretty pricey price point at $400 plus. And that was back in 2012. It has now been 11 years, and I came back and I was, kind of curious to revisit something from my... It took me 11 years to remember this card existed, by the way. I was like, I wonder how much he's going for. One of these just sold for $10,000. I kid you not. 10 grand. This is just one of those things that exists that you don't really remember. And the listing itself, I mean, the card is extremely hard to find. Like, this is one of the craziest holy grails in the collector's TCG world that I could think of. So this was something really cool that I just wanted to showcase because it's long since been forgotten to the chasm of time. But if you're a TCG collector, this is just insanely cool. 10 grand worthy? No. I would have loved to have had this when it was $400 many, many ages ago, but can't have everything that you wanted for collectability. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here. They're in day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.